much indeed. Hello, I'm Alexander Armstrong, and welcome to Pointless, the show where we are always striving to find the most obscure answers. Let's meet today's players. And couple number one.
Hi, my name's Andrea, this is Linda, and we're work colleagues and friends from Cheshire.
Couple number two.
Hi, I'm Wayne, and this is my partner Matt, and we're from London.
Couple number three.
Hi, I'm Mike. This is my dad, Terence, and we're from Ballymena in Northern Ireland.
And finally, couple number four.
Hi, I'm Chris, and this is Charlie, and we're friends from Heel Green Data Company in Manchester.
And these, ladies and gentlemen, are today's contestants. Thanks very much to all of you. We'll find out more about you throughout the show as it goes along. So that just leaves one more person for me to introduce, a man known for his giant intellect. And I know this because he edits his own Wikipedia page. It's my pointless friend, it's Richard.
Hiya. Hi, everybody. Hiya. Afternoon.
And to you, afternoon.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Excellent. Our jackpot is coming along quite nicely, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yeah, it's a nice sum of money now.
Yeah.
No pressure for anyone here. Well, coming back, we've got Charlie and Chris, who will definitely have one eye on that jackpot because they were terrific last time, weren't they?
Yeah.
Got all the way through to the head-to-head, one all in the head-to-head, and they had a final question on Tom Jones. And I think you knew everything on the board, didn't you? Just chose the wrong one in the end. Mm-hmm. But they are going to be very, very tough to beat. But up against them today, there's a vicar somewhere.
Yes.
Amongst our new players, there is a vicar.
Yeah.
There's also, for the first time ever in Pointless history, someone wearing a peach hoodie. First time. I won't tell you who it is.
I'm none the wiser.
No. Well, you'll find out as you go along.
OK, I'll ask some searching questions. Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now, all our questions on Pointless have been put to 100 people before the show. Our contestants here need to find the obscure answers those 100 people didn't get. Of course, everyone's trying to find a pointless answer. That's an answer that none of our 100 people gave, and each time that happens, we will add 250 quid to the jackpot. Now, Rachel and Olwen didn't win the jackpot last time, so we add another £1,000 to that. So today's jackpot starts off at £7,750. There we are. Right, if everyone's ready, let's play Pointless. OK, now the pair with the highest score will be eliminated at the end of the round. And remember, there is to be no conferring during the round. Our category for the first round today is people. It's people. Can you all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second? And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, and the question concerns famous Georges. Famous Georges, Richard.
On each pass, we're going to give you 7 descriptions of people who are commonly known by the first name George. Can you give us the most obscure answer, please? It's going to be 14 Georges to find at home. Very best of luck.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So we are looking for these famous people called George, and our first board of 7 reads like this. Played Danny Ocean in the 2001 Ocean's 11 remake. Composer of Rhapsody in Blue, the Archbishop of Canterbury, 1991 to 2002. 17th century English preacher, founded the Quakers. Stage name of the comedian and banjo ukulele player who sang When I'm Cleaning Windows. Hollywood director whose first feature film was entitled THX 1138. And the playwright who wrote Pygmalion. I'll read them one last time. Played Danny Ocean in the 2001 Ocean's 11 remake. Composer of Rhapsody in Blue. Archbishop of Canterbury from 1991 to 2002. 17th century English preacher, founded the Quakers. Stage name of comedian and banjo ukulele player who sang When I'm Cleaning Windows. Hollywood director whose first feature film was entitled THX 1138, and the playwright who wrote Pygmalion. Linda and Andrea, you all drew lots before the show, and today you are going to go first. Linda, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. What do you do in this office you share with Andrea?
I'm a civil servant. I work for the Department of Health.
Which bit of the Department of Health?
The section I work for, we buy pharmaceuticals on behalf of the NHS.
So do you decide which drugs are going to be bought by the NHS?
Well, we work in conjunction with pharmacists, yeah.
Right,
They're not very good at being told what to do.
I see. Now, Linda, I'm going to ask you something. Forgive me for this. But during a week, any given week, how often are you not approached and asked if you're Carol Vorderman?
It has been asked
It occasionally happens that somebody doesn't ask you if you're Carol Vorderman.
Yeah.
Now then, Linda, famous Georges.
I think I know a few, but I think I'm going to play safe and go for the composer of Rhapsody in Blue, and I'm going to say George Gershwin.
George Gershwin, says Linda. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said George Gershwin. 32. Not bad. Not a bad start. 32 for George Gershwin.
Yeah, born in 1898, George Gershwin. It's very recently that the last person born in the 19th century in Britain died. You can't meet anyone in Britain who lived in the 19th century.
Anymore.
No, she's called Grace Jones.
Was she really?
Yeah, not the singer.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now, Matt, welcome to the show. What do you do, Matt?
I'm an administrator for a charity in London.
What are your interests?
Music, really.
OK, do you have pets? Do you have...
I have a dog called Lola. She's a puppy.
What kind of dog?
She's a pug.
I love a pug.
She's my daughter.
Oh. Tell me something unusual about yourself, Matt.
I can bark like a dog, and I'm double-jointed down one side.
Which of those two would you like to see evidence of?
If I'm honest, I'd like to see you bark like a dog. I'm not sure about the double-jointed thing.
Down the right-hand side. We'll go for bark like a dog, Matt.
Yeah.
That is like a dog. That is like a dog.
I'll tell you what, a lot of people often send in pictures to Twitter of their pets watching Pointless. There'll be a whole lot of dogs at home going, finally, something for me.
Now then, Matt, famous Georges.
I actually, embarrassingly, only know two on there. Well, I think I know two. I don't know if to chance it or not, but I'll go with the playwright, and I'll say George Orwell.
George Orwell,
Yeah.
says Matt, the author of Pygmalion. Well, let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said George Orwell. No, bad luck, Matt, I'm sorry. Great barking. Less good on the answering, I'm afraid. That scores you the maximum of 100 points, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Matt. It turns out you didn't know two.
No.
Thanks, Rich. Terence.
Hi, Alexander.
There we are. There we are. Welcome to the show. Where are you from?
We live in Belfast, but we're originally from Ballymena.
And you are a vicar?
I am a part-time vicar nowadays, but I was a full-time vicar for many years, and I see one of my bosses actually in the
Certainly you do, yes.
in the list.
And what are your interests other than vicaring? I mean, obviously vicaring takes up vicaring, honestly. Is that the best I can come up with?
I was going to tell you I hatch, match, and dispatch.
Indeed.
Hatch,
Match.
baptisms.
Match, marriage, and dispatch,
Yeah.
and burial.
And Dispatch, you run a courier company.
But other than that, I enjoy cooking and occasionally eating it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I enjoy the foreign cuisine.
I'll come to Mike on the next pass and see if he backs this up. But what do you think is your best dish?
I like cooking paella.
Right. Paella. Excellent.
Well,
now
the
then.
accent, yeah.
Exactly. Now, Terence, there is a board of Georges, a whole board of
Yes.
Georges. Only one of them has gone. Which one are you going to go for?
Well, being a vicar, there are two of them there that I should know the answer to. I think that I will plump for the Archbishop of Canterbury, George Carey.
George Carey, says Terence. Let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said that. Well, you're already lower than our highest score. Will you go lower than 32? Yes, you will. You are our new low scorer on 10, Terence. Very well done indeed. Good work.
Yes, he was the 103rd Archbishop of Canterbury. Was he a good boss, Terence?
Well, I never saw him much, really. He was
Well, that's what I call a good boss.
slightly elevated.
Thanks very much, Richard. Now then, Charlie. Welcome back. Tell us the story of last time.
Well, we got through to the head-to-head. As Richard said, we got Tom Jones. I was really pleased. We knew 4 of the answers, and we plumbed not for the lowest answer.
Now, we know that you are Mr. Theatre up there in Manchester. How long have you been running the theatre?
It's about running the theatre, helping to run the theatre.
Helping to run the theatre with...
Well, I've been a member of the theatre
Yeah.
for about 15 years, but I've only joined the committee this very year, so it's been a baptism of fire.
Very good indeed. Now then, Charlie, you're the last person to have all these Georges. Do you fancy talking us through as many of them as you can?
I think I know most of them. I think the first one's George Clooney. I don't know the preacher. George Foreman. I think it's George Lucas. And the answer I'm going for, the last one, which is the playwright, George Bernard Shaw.
George Bernard Shaw, says Charlie. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said George Bernard Shaw. Well, of our correct answers, 32 is the high scorer, 10 the low, 38 for GBS.
It's the only person in history to win a Nobel Prize and an Oscar, George Bernard Shaw. About that. Let's go through the rest of this board. It was George Clooney, who played Danny Ocean. Would have scored you 42 points. The 17th century English preacher, this is the best answer on the board. It was George Fox. Very well done if you said that, 5 points for that. The stage name of the comedian, of course, George Formby, on Cleaning Windows, 61. And the Hollywood director was George Lucas. And he would have scored you 23.
Thank you very much indeed. Now then, we're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at those scores as they stand. 10, Terence. 10, Terence. That was a cracking answer there. Lovely low score. Well done. That puts you and Mike in a very strong position at this stage. Then we got up to 32, where we find Linda and Andrea. Then up to 38, where we find Charlie and Chris. Then all the way up to 100, Matt and Wayne. So yes, Wayne, we need some low scores from you. Or in fact, just one low score from you. And we have to hope that's enough to see you through. Best of luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? OK, let's put 7 more characters on our board of Georges, and here they are. We have got fought Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974, the American band leader of Parliament and Funkadelic, President of the USA 2001 to 2009, producer of the Beatles, English horse painter whose kangaroo painting was one of the first to be seen in Britain, the author born Mary Ann Evans who wrote Middlemarch and played 007 in only one official James Bond film. I'll read those all one final time. Fought Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974, the American band leader of Parliament and Funkadelic, the President of the USA 2001 to 2009, the producer of the Beatles, the English horse painter whose kangaroo painting was one of the first to be seen in Britain, the author born Mary Ann Evans who wrote Middlemarch and played 007 in only one official James Bond film. There we are, 7 more famous Georges. And Chris, you're going to try and find the one you think the fewest of our 100 people knew. Chris, welcome back. Welcome back. I think Charlie was a bit surprised by how high George Bernard Shaw scored in that last pass. That was quite a high score. Now, Chris, remind us what you do.
I'm a retired teacher.
A retired teacher. But also you help run the theatre. And in your case, you are the overall boss, I think.
I'm the chair.
The chair, exactly. Exactly. And what are your hobbies aside from theatre?
Apart from amateur dramatics, I do youth work. I'm a Girls' Brigade senior leader.
Good stuff. OK, well, there you are on 38. The high score is Wayne and Matt on 100, which means 61 or less sees you into the second round. Which of the Georges are you going to go for?
The author, I think. I think it's George Eliot.
George Eliot, says Chris. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many people said it. There's your red line. Get below that, and you're in round 2. Well done, you've done it. George Eliot, 28. 66, your total.
Well played, Chris. Yeah, she's had quite an eventful life. She moved in with a married man, and then when he died, she moved in with a man 20 years younger than her as well. Good for her.
Good for her. Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Mike.
Alexander.
Welcome. Welcome to the show. First question, how's your dad's paella?
Very nice.
That's good. It is all it's cracked up to be.
I don't know if I'd be saying that if he wasn't standing here, though.
OK, it's not all it's cracked up to be. OK, Mike, what do you do?
I work in a further education college in the finance department.
And when you're not doing that, what do you get up to?
Massively into rugby and football as well. I'm a big fan of Newcastle United.
Are you? Newcastle? Yeah. That's your team. Mike, yeah, that might be quite scary running at speed towards you with a ball.
Yeah.
Maybe not to you, but to me, I'd be tempted to run the other way. Now then, Mike, Georges.
I think I'm convinced I know 2 or 3 of them, but I think I'm going to go for the bottom one, 007, and go George Lazenby.
George Lazenby. You want to score 89 or less to avoid becoming the new high scorers. There's your red line. Let's see how many of our 100 people said George Lazenby. Very well done. 56. Takes your total to 66, exactly the same total as Chris and Charlie, and you are through to the next round. Well done.
Yeah, he was in On Her Majesty's Secret Service, and 007 magazine voted it the best Bond film of all time.
Really? That's a purist line to take, isn't it? What did George Lazenby get up to after that?
Lazenby, all
Yeah.
sorts.
Did he? I mean, in a professional capacity.
Oh, I don't know.
Now then, Wayne. Wayne, you have a task. You have a task here,
I do.
which is you have to score hardly anything.
Right, good.
Wayne, if you had to describe the colour of your top, searching question, what would it be?
Well, I'd say it's more orange, to be honest with you, so...
Do you know,
More
I said
orange.
it was orange, and our producer said it was peach. I thought it was orange.
It was orange when I bought it. It
Yeah,
might have
it's been
faded
through the
over
wash
the
a
years,
couple of
you know.
times. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
We go with peach.
But it's him, isn't it? It's him.
It is him,
It's
yeah,
him.
well done.
Hey!
Hey, well done,
I knew.
well
I
done.
thought it was. I thought it was. Yeah. I thought it was him. Wayne, what are you going to go for from the Georges?
Well, my answer's gone. So, I think the producer of the Beatles was George Martin.
George Martin says, Wayne, no red line for you as you're the high scorers, but let's see how many of our 100 people said George Martin. It's right. (19). Wow. 19 is the second lowest score of the round so far. For George Martin, I would have thought in the high 90s.
For George Martin?
George Martin.
Not really.
Yes.
A, it's quite a long time ago. B, the name is it's quite a normal name, isn't it? It's a very easy
Well,
name
it's
to
true.
forget. George Martin. So 30 UK #1 singles, George Martin. That's a very good answer from Wayne. Did exactly what you had to do there. Keep yourself in the game.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Now then, Andrea. Andrea, you've been so patient. You've waited all this time. There you are on 32. 119 is the high score, which means 86 or less will see you through. But first, Andrea, tell us about yourself.
I'm a civil servant. I've worked with Linda for about 12 years now. I work for the Department of Health as well.
Exactly the same department as Linda.
We do slightly different jobs. I work with NHS procurement policy, helping trusts to buy better as a national health service. And in my spare time, I've got 2 children, so I don't have much spare time.
No.
But I've taken up running. I say running, I mean jogging.
What sort of length of jog? Do you do it in distance or in minutes?
I did the Great North Run twice, but
Wow.
that is not a usual run.
OK, no, that is a
I
run.
would stop after the first time, if I'm honest with you.
If they did a
No,
Great
do it
North
twice.
jog, I would do that, you
Yeah.
see. But it's the run bit that
You
puts
can
me off.
jog it, that's
Yeah,
fine.
that's fine. Anyway, there we are. We need 86 or less from you,
Yes.
Andrea. Now, this is all yours. This board is all yours. Only 3 Georges have gone.
Yes.
The rest are all yours. Do you fancy talking us through them?
A lot of mine have gone. I think Fort Muhammad Ali in The Rumble in the Jungle is George Foreman. I don't know the American band leader. President of the USA, George W. Bush. English horse painter, no idea. So I think I will go for the top one and George Foreman.
George Foreman. OK, you sure you don't want to change that to George Formby? It is available to you if you'd like to. George Foreman. OK, there is your red line. Get below that, you're in round 2. George Foreman, is it right? How many people said it? It's right, and you're through. Very well done, Andrea. 39. 71, your total.
Well played, Andrea, yeah, 2-time world heavyweight champion. Let's fill in the rest of this board. The president of the USA was George W. Bush. Actually would have seen you through, because it would have only scored you 72 points. The American band leader of Parliament and Funkadelic, do you know that?
George Clinton.
It is George Clinton, yep. That would have scored you 7 points. And the English horse painter?
It's George Stubbs.
George Stubbs is the right answer. And that would have scored you 12. So the best answer up there is George Clinton. Well done if you said that.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So at the end of our first round, the pair heading home with a high score of 119. It's Wayne in the peach hoodie and Matt. Far too soon to be saying goodbye to you, but we will see you again next time when I hope you'll be with us for much, much longer. But meantime, thanks very much for playing Wayne and Matt. Great contestants. But for the remaining 3 pairs, it's now time for round 2. And so 3 pairs remain. Obviously, at the end of this round, we will have to say goodbye to another pair in time for the head-to-head. Well, very, very close. Very, very close. Andrea and Linda, you were just by a margin our highest scorers there. But Terence and Mike, Charlie and Chris all on the same score of 66. It's fair to say there's barely a paella rice grain between you. Very, very best of luck to all 3 pairs. Our category for round 2 is snooker. You can all decide in your pairs who's going to go first, who's going to go second. And whoever's going first, please step up to the podium. OK, let's find out what the question is. Here it comes. We gave 100 people 100 seconds to name as many players who competed in the 2013 World Snooker Championship as they could. Players who competed in the 2013 World Snooker Championship. Richard.
Yeah, we're looking for the names of any of the 32 players who reached the televised stages of the 2013 World Snooker Championships at the Crucible, please. Very best of luck.
Thanks very much indeed. Now then, Andrea, snooker.
Yes.
It's a dream come true, isn't it?
No, more of a nightmare, really. I don't even know if this guy's a snooker player, but it sounds plausible. I'm going to say Marco Fu.
Marco Fu.
Yeah.
Marco Fu. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Marco Fu. He's right. Very well done, Andrea. Still going down. 3. Very well done indeed. Now that's how you play pointless. Very well done. That's 3 for Marco Fu.
That's a terrific answer, Andrea. Yeah, born in 1978 in Hong Kong. Normally when people say, I don't know if this person is a snooker player or anything, they just come up with something or other, but that's a very, very good answer, isn't it?
Thanks very much indeed. Now then, Terence. You going to be good at this, Terence? I'm going to say
maybe,
yes.
Maybe. I would have known a few maybe 20, 30 years ago, but not so many in 2013.
No.
But I want to guess. Mark Allen.
Mark Allen, says Terence. Let's see if that's right. Let's see how many of our 100 people said Mark Allen. It's right. Well, 3 is our high and low score at this point. Mark Allen takes us down to pointless. Look at that, Terence. Very well done indeed. That adds £250 to today's jackpot, takes the total up to £8,000. Most importantly, it scores you nothing. Very well done indeed, Terence. Great answer there.
Well played, Terence. The pistol, Mark Allen. And where's he from?
He's from Antrim in Northern Ireland.
He sure is, yeah.
And I used to be his vicar.
No.
Yes.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
That's quite cool, isn't it?
That is quite cool.
That's the first time that someone has given as an answer someone they used to be the vicar of.
Thanks very much, Richard. Now, Charlie, does that expression on your face mean that this is not an ideal round for you?
I have absolutely no idea of any snooker player from 2013. I can only think of people from the past who are definitely not playing now. So we're going to be in the making up a name.
This is always my favourite phase of the game, particularly when it's making up a snooker name. I want to know what Charlie's kind of a snooker name.
Where do you start?
Yeah.
I'm going to go for Smith, and I'm going to go for Mike Smith.
I'm disappointed. That's all I'm going to say. Mike Smith. Smithy?
The Smithster.
Smithy, the Smithster. Yeah. Let's see if Mike Smith is a snooker player, and if he is, let's see if he played in the 2013 championship. Mike Smith, is it right? No. I'm afraid that's an incorrect answer, Charlie. It scores you the maximum of 100 points.
Yeah, sorry, Charlie. Famously beaten 10-9 by Mark Allen in the final qualifying round. Mike Smith.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. We're halfway through the round. Let's take a look at those scores. Well, Terence, what can I say? That was a splendid answer there. Terence and Mike looking pretty strong at this stage. Then up to 3, Andrea and Linda. What can I say? Andrea and Linda looking pretty strong at this stage of the game. Charlie, what can I say? Mike Smith. Yeah, I'm afraid snooker, you either know it or you don't.
Yeah.
But there we are. Now, Chris, something could be salvageable here if you know your snooker.
Yeah.
If you can find a pointless answer and Linda has a nightmare in the next pass, it could happen that you'll make it through to the head-to-head. Best of luck with that. We're going to come back down the line now. Can the second players please step up to the podium? Now then, Chris, we're looking for 2013 World Championship snooker players.
Oh, yeah, no loads.
That's what I'm hoping you'd say.
I only know one from the past. He may still be playing, I don't know. Steve Hendry.
Steve Hendry. OK, Chris says Steve Hendry. There's no red line for you, as you are the high scorers. But let's see if that's right. Oh, bad luck, Chris. I'm sorry. That's another incorrect answer. Scores you the maximum of 100 points. Takes your total up to an unbeatable 200.
Yeah, he bowed out the previous year, I'm afraid, Stephen Hendry, with a 147 as well at the Crucible.
Thanks very much, Richard. Now, Mike, good news. You are through to the next round. But how well did your dad do?
Did pretty well.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive.
Did well. That was the answer I was going to go for.
I bet there might be another pointless answer in there, Mike.
Hopefully.
You've got to find it.
I don't think this will be pointless, but I'm going to go for Neil Robertson.
Neil Robertson. OK, let's see if that's right, and if it is, let's see how many people said it. No red line for you, because you're already through. That's a nice reason not to have a red line. But let's see how many people said Neil Robertson. That's a good score. Down it goes. Look at that. Very well done indeed. 3. Great score, Mike. That takes your total up to 2-3.
Well played, Michael. Yeah, the 2010 world champion from Australia. Lost in the first round in 2013.
Thanks, Richard. Now, Linda. Great news. You're through to the head-to-head.
That's good.
Snooker, not such a...
Nightmare. There is one name sort of jingling around in my head, and I'm going to go for it as we're through anyway. Peter Ebdon.
Peter Ebdon. OK, let's see if that's right. No red line for you because you're through. Let's see if anyone said Peter Ebdon. Is it right? It's right. Look at that, 7. Very well done indeed, Linda. Great performance, really proper pointless performance there on the first podium. 10 is your total.
Very well played. Another former world champion from 2002. There's plenty of pointless answers. And people who know their snooker will definitely have got one of these. Let's take a look. You could have had Sam Baird. You could have had Michael White. Matt Selt would have been a pointless answer. Martin Gould was a pointless answer. Good snooker player, good darts player as well. Used to be a croupier. There's Mark Allen. Marcus Campbell, the Scot, a pointless answer. You could have Ben Wooderston. You could have Barry Hawkins, who got into the final. He got beaten in the final, and he was a pointless answer. And Ricky Walden, who was in the semi-final, was also a pointless answer. And another Scot there, Alan McManus, was a pointless answer. Also could have had Robert Milkins. You could have had Dechawat Punjang. He would have been a pointless answer. Let's take a look at the 3 biggest scorers, the ones that most of our 100 people said. 8 points for the 3rd biggest scorer, Mark Williams. And then 2 more familiar names. John Higgins with 16, and up the top, Ronnie. I can't believe no one said him. 49 points for Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So at the end of our second round, I'm afraid it's Chris and Charlie finally hit the buffers. You've gone strong through 1.5 pointless shows. Brilliant performance last time. And today, I'm afraid it was all going so well until you ran into snooker. But there we are. A valiant performance nonetheless, but I'm afraid this is where we have to say goodbye. Thanks so much for playing, Chris and Charlie.
Thank you.
But for the remaining 2 pairs, it's now time for our head-to-head. Congratulations, Mike and Terence, Andrea and Linda. You're now 1 step closer to the final and a chance to play for our jackpot, which currently stands at £8,000. Now, we have to decide who's going to play for that money, and to do that, you are now going to go head-to-head. The big difference is, obviously, you're now allowed to confer, and the first pair to win 2 questions will be playing for that jackpot. Wow, both of you have done very, very well indeed. Mike and Terence, fantastic performance and a pointless answer there. That really was great play. But Andrea and Linda, considering snooker wasn't really your strong suit, I think you did phenomenally well in that last round. This is going to be a needle head-to-head. Best of luck to both pairs. Let's play it. OK, here comes your first question, and it concerns reunions. Reunions, Richard.
I'm going to show you 5 pictures of bands that have reunited since the year 2000 now. Can you name the most obscure of these?
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So let's reveal our 5 reunions, and here they are. We have got A, B, C, D, and E. There we are, 5 reunions. Mike and Terence, you played best throughout the show, so you will go first.
I'm going to go for... Well, sorry, we're going to go for B, the Stone Roses.
Stone Roses, say Mike and Terence. B and the Stone Roses. Now then, Andrea and Linda, do you fancy talking us through the rest of the board?
OK, this is more up our street, to be honest. I think A, take that. C is Spandau Ballet. D is Steps. And E looks like Blue. But it's what to go for. I think Spandau Ballet? Yeah. Yeah, we'll go for C, Spandau Ballet, please.
OK, C, Spandau Ballet, say Andrea and Linda. So we have the Stone Roses versus Spandau Ballet. Mike and Terence said the Stone Roses was B. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said that. That's right. $14. Well played, Mike. That's a good score. Now, Andrea and Linda, you thought this was probably the hardest one to recognise. Spandau Ballet, you're saying. For C, let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Spandau Ballet. It's right. 32. 32, which means Mike and Terence, after one question, you are up 1-0.
Yes, I think both teams knew all of them there, and both teams picked the best answer they could do, because they're the best two answers on the board. A is Take That. It's a big scorer, though. Would have scored you 80 points. D, you're right, is Steps. Quite a big scorer, actually, for Steps. Would have scored you 51. And you're right about Blue as well, and Blue would have scored you 47. Another hefty score.
Thank you very much indeed, Richard. Now, here comes your second question. Andrea and Linda, you will get to answer this one first, but you have to win it to stay in the game, so best of luck. It concerns potato varieties. Potato varieties. Richard.
Does anybody need 5 minutes to calm down? Or are you OK? Shall we... we're going to show you 5 varieties of potatoes now, but we've mashed them up. They're all anagrams. Can you unscramble them and give us the best answer, please?
Thanks very much indeed. So let's reveal our 5 anagrams, and here they are. Anagrams of potatoes. Dongle Downer, 2 words. Pamper Iris, 2 words. I Steam, 1 word. So Retro, 1 word. And New Dark Dig, 2 words. I'll read those one last time. Dongle Downer, 2 words. Pamper Iris, 2 words. I Steam, 1 word. So Retro, 1 word. New Dark Dig, 2 words. And Andrea and Linda, you will go first this time.
Are you sure? Is that the second one better? OK, we'll go for the second one down. And say Maris Piper.
Maris Piper, say Andrea and Linda. Maris Piper. Now, Mike and Terence, Maris Piper has gone. What about those other ones? Do you fancy having a crack at those? How many of them can you fill in, do you think?
The bottom one's King Edward, Rooster, Estima, Maris Piper, and I know the top one. I've forgotten it now. But we'll just go Estima. We'll go Estima.
Estima.
Yeah.
Estima. So we have Maris Piper and we have Estima. Andrea and Linda said Maris Piper. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said Maris Piper. It's right. 59. Now, Mike and Terence have said Estima. Let's see if that's right. And if it is, let's see how many of our 100 people said that. It's right. Is it going to beat 59? Yes, it is. Look at that. Down it goes. 6. Very well done, Terence and Mike. After 2 questions only, you are through to the final 2-0.
Very well played, gents. Yeah, there's only one answer that would have beaten it. It's the top one. We've all eaten plenty of them. I think, Linda and Andrew, you might know it, the top one.
Yeah, Golden Wonder.
Golden Wonder. Would have scored you 3 points. Best answer up there. And we know the bottom 2. Rooster is right. It's quite a low scorer. They would have scored you 15. And New Dark Dig is King Edward and would have scored 37 points.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. So the pair leaving us at the end of the head-to-head round, I'm afraid it's Andrea and Linda, but in a way it's good news, because it means we get to see you again next time. Had you gone to the final, that would have been it. But as it is, you'll be back, and we've got a whole new show to enjoy with you, which we'll do very much. Thanks so much for playing, Andrea and Linda. Great performance. for Mike and Terence, it's time for our Pointless Final. Congratulations, Mike and Terence. You've fought off all the competition and you have won our coveted Pointless trophy, so very well done. You now have a chance to win our Pointless jackpot, and at the end of today's show, the jackpot stands at £8,000. There we are. Of course, part of that jackpot is down to you and your pointless answer. But do you know what? I think it's fallen pretty well for you. Because let's just cast our minds back. We had your boss in round one, George Carey.
Yeah.
Then we had a parishioner of yours, Mark Allen.
Yeah. Loosely speaking.
Loosely speaking.
Yeah.
Then we had Stone Roses, which is a little bit of Mike's 20s.
Potatoes.
And then we had potatoes. About which you knew everything. It was like you'd written the book. So if we just follow this trajectory, what would you like to see come up in this last round then?
The disciples.
Now, wouldn't that be a thing?
Yeah, that would be a thing.
Yeah.
name the 12 disciples.
OK. Well, as always, you kickstart this round by choosing the option, and you have 4 of them. They are Roaring Twenties, Men's Running Records, Goon Films, The Disciples. Male music legends. What's it going to be?
Not Roaring Twenties.
No. Goon films. No.
No. Male music
So it's
legends.
between men's running records.
No idea. We're going to go male music legends.
Male music legends. OK, Richard.
Good luck. We're going to give you 3 options here. Take your answers from any of these. We're looking for any UK top 40 single by any of the following. So any solo UK top 40 single by George Harrison, by Roy Orbison, or by Bob Dylan, all members of the Travelling Wilburys. Any UK top 40 hits by George Harrison, Roy Orbison, or Bob Dylan. Very, very best of luck.
OK, now, as ever, you've got up to 1 minute to come up with 3 answers, and to win that jackpot, all you need is for just one of those answers to be pointless. Now, remember, the answers you provide can come from any of these categories. It's entirely up to you how you spread them across the categories. They could all come from the same one if you like, or 1 from each, 2 from one from another. Entirely up to you. Are you ready?
Yes.
OK, let's put 60 seconds on the clock. There they are. Your time starts now.
Is it only as singles, as single
Top
performers?
40 single. Yes,
no,
yeah, soloists, yeah.
Yeah, soloists, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Solos.
No idea.
Bob Dylan.
And that's times that winds are blowing. It's not pointless. Roy Orbison. I mean, well, I know it's Pretty Woman.
George Harrison, My Sweet Lord.
Crying. My Sweet Lord. I know them.
We'll go Bob
We
Dylan.
need pointless answers. Like a Rolling Stone, knocking on heaven's door. They're not pointless, like even close.
We'll just throw us on there, mate. We'll just go down. My Sweet Lord will not be.
Mr. Tambourine Man.
Yeah. Oh, keep on going down.
10 seconds left.
Crying. Tambourine Man. Knocking on heaven's door.
OK, that's your time up. I now need your 3 answers. What are you going to go for?
We're going to go Roy Orbison single, Crying.
Crying.
Bob Dylan, Mr. Tambourine Man.
Mr. Tambourine Man.
And Bob Dylan, Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Knocking on Heaven's Door. Now, of those 3, which is your best shot at a pointless answer, do you think?
I think Mr. Tambourine Man.
Mr. Tambourine will put last. Mr. Tambourine Man. Your least likely?
I can't remember what the third one we said was.
You had Crying, Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Knocking on Heaven's Door.
Knocking on Heaven's Door we'll put first. OK, let's pop your answers up on the board in that order, and here they are. We've got Knocking on Heaven's Door, Crying, and Mr. Tambourine Man. Well, very best of luck. Your first answer was Knocking on Heaven's Door. You thought this was probably your least likely to be pointless. Remember, only one of those answers has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot of £8,000. What would you do if you won that, Mike?
Go first train to King's Cross, go out in London, spend the whole thing.
Really?
I wouldn't see too much of it.
I'd give him the 2 trophies to hold on to.
OK, well, best of luck. Knocking on Heaven's Door, your first answer. Let's find out. Obviously, it has to be correct, then it has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot. So, for £8,000, let's see how many people thought Knocking on Heaven's Door was a Bob Dylan top 40 single. It's right. That's the first thing it had to be. Now, down it goes, through the 50s, through the 40s. If this goes all the way down to 0, you leave with £8,000. Still going down, 4. Now, how's about that? 4 for knocking on heaven's door. And you thought that was probably your least likely to be pointless, so that bodes pretty well for your next 2 answers. But unfortunately, not a pointless answer. 2 more shots at today's jackpot. Your second answer was crying. Obviously, this has to be correct, and it has to be pointless. Let's find out. For £8,000, how many of our 100 people said crying was a Roy Orbison single? Again, it's right. Your first answer, knocking on heaven's door, took us all the way down to 4. Crying now taking us down through the 20s, through the teens to 16. OK, only one answer left. Everything is now riding on Mr. Tambourine Man. Again, it has to be pointless for you to win that jackpot. Let's find out how many of our 100 people for £8,000 said Mr. Tambourine Man was a Bob Dylan top 40 single. Oh, no! Oh, bad luck. Well, nothing wrong with 2 of those answers, and we'll discover what was wrong with the third in a moment. But unfortunately, you didn't manage to find that all-important pointless answer, which means you don't win today's jackpot of £8,000. That will roll over onto the next show, but we've really enjoyed having you on the show. Thank you so much for playing. And you do, of course, get to take home a pointless trophy each, so very, very well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Unlucky guys, Mr. Tambourine Man, of course, written by Bob Dylan, but it was a hit for the Byrds in the UK, #1 for the Byrds. Let's take a look at the pointless answers in the different categories. One of the first records I ever bought, George Harrison, all those years ago, as a pointless answer. Any Road, also pointless answer. Ding Dong and You, those are the only pointless answers for George Harrison. Roy Orbison, you could have Falling, you could have Mean Woman Blues. Pretty Paper, you could have had Too Soon to Know, you could have had Say You're My Girl, Blue Angel, Breaking Up Is Breaking My Heart, you could have Running Scared. All of those are pointless answers. And Bob Dylan, some big names here. There's Dignity and I Want You, Maggie's Farm was a pointless answer. Positively 4th Street, also a pointless answer. Also could have had Can You Please Crawl Out Your Window, could have had One of Us Must Know, you could have had, or Rainy Day Women was also a pointless answer for Bob Dylan. Very well done if you said that at home.
Thanks very much indeed, Richard. Well, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to you, Mike and Terence, but it's been brilliant having you on the show. Thank you both so much for playing. Mike and Terence.
Thank you.
Well, unfortunately, Mike and Terence didn't win our jackpot today, which means it rolls over onto the next show when we will be playing for £9,000. Join us next time, see if someone can win it. Meanwhile, it's goodbye from Richard.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.